Bam. We are live. Or is it bam, we're live?
It's your show.
Thank you.
In case you forgot that.
No. I like it. Thank you. Which donkey is it going to be, Sevon or Dave? Which donkey? You watch it, Alan. Fucking Alan. Donkey. Spencer. Did I send Spencer a link? Spencer, how are you, buddy? Oh, look, there he is.
He is here? Oh, there he is.
Bam.
All right, that's the fastest I've ever gotten on.
Hey, we did it. That's it. It's done. You can go now. We got all. The goal was to make sure we got all the Panchik brothers, and goal is achieved. Check that off my list.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, have you ever been in the room with the other brothers, like the Smith brothers or the Anderson brothers?
We did
all three
with the Smiths. I don't know if the Andersons did it that year or not. I don't think.
All
I know the
three?
Smiths.
All three, Spencer? Like you three were there and all three of them were there?
Yeah.
Did you guys compete against each other?
Yeah, it was a team of 3.
Oh shit, who won?
I have the stats. I have the results.
I think it was the Smiths. I think we took 4th that year.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. You guys got 3rd.
Did we?
It says that on my.
I can't even remember. That was so long ago.
Hey,
this was in January of 2017. I have it documented as all of the results from Wodapalooza from every year. And it says you guys got 3rd, the Smiths got 2nd, and Travis Williams, Roy Gamboa, and Jordan Cook won it that year.
I know they got us by 1 place.
No shit. Who's the weak link in the Smiths brothers?
I wouldn't say there's a weak link. They remind me of us so much where it's like each one has like their own like specialty, I feel like.
That's why you don't have your own podcast, Spencer, because you're not willing to say dumb shit like that. If you don't say dumb shit like who's the weak link when it's like 3 super fit dudes, then
the obvious answer was Ben. I was actually at Wodapalooza that year. It was my first time going there. I was a fan. I had no like exposure in this space or anything. I just went to watch. And I remember I can't remember. It was on Bayside stage maybe it was even after a swimming workout. I can't remember. But you guys had a snatch, and all 3 of you guys hit the same bar, and it was very impressive. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think it was 285. I think that was the final workout that year.
I couldn't remember if it was 275, 285, whatever it was. I just know that it was towards the end. You guys, like, it didn't seem like you were all going to hit it. And then just back to back, nailed these beautiful snatches facing the ocean. I was like, damn, that was impressive.
That workout was so much fun. I remember because I think Saxon missed one and he's like, let me go again. And Scott and I are like, let's put on 300. And then Saxon's like, I'm going out and hitting it. And then he ended up going out and he hit the final weight, but it was so cool.
I love the way you talk about that. like we're there. It's so awesome. Hey, how old are you, Spencer?
25.
I want to admit something before we start. When you're not around, like when I'm talking behind your back, I call you Spencer Panchik. But when you're to your face, I call you Spencer Panchik. So whatever. I apologize. You're 25. And in 2015, that would mean you were 19 years old.
Yeah.
Souza, can you go type into Google maybe like average 19-year-old? And then I want to show you guys something that's just fucking mind-boggling. That is Spencer, for those of you who are watching the show, holding a 100-pound dumbbell. You know, the ones that only the fucking juiced up guy at the Golds touches. I bet you that not even 1% of the 19-year-olds in the United States can do a pistol.
I totally even forgot about that video.
This is nuts.
Is this a loop or did you do like a ton of reps?
No, he did 3,000 of them actually. I counted and then the video ends.
Yeah, I don't even remember how many it was. We were just screwing around that day, I think.
Brian, has this ever been in the games, a 100-pound pistol?
No, they did have weighted pistols. One of the finale workouts, but I think it was with a kettlebell. And
it was like the Cinco.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite 100 pounds.
What is the heaviest weighted pistol you guys have seen?
I think it was 53 that year. That was the final at the games. It was like heavy deadlifts and pistols. but I've never seen weighted pistols outside of that. Really.
Is it dangerous? Is it not? Is it not a good event?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just wondering why it's never been in there. How about pistols with a vest on? Have we seen that? We have, right? I feel like I saw that in Del Mar.
Maybe in like an offsite event. I know not at the games or any like semifinals.
Nothing Dave would program.
Actually,
Too soon?
having a weight in front of your body can be helpful for some people in pistols, just not 100 pounds, but maybe like a 10-pound plate or something to offset the, sometimes people just roll backwards.
Yeah, we had like whenever I would coach, we had like some like long, like taller guys, and like they were like their torso would be so high that they would like want to fall backwards, so they'd get like a 10-pound plate, and they actually thought it was easier with it.
That was exactly what I was going to say. There is a weight that if you hold in front of you, maybe it's a 5-pound kettlebell for a weakling like me, that's actually like I can't do a pistol, and then I hold that 5-pound weight and I'm in the game. Like it helps the cantilever, the geometry of it. Yeah. Yeah. But 100 pounds isn't like that. And the where you're holding, it's just completely fucking nuts too. Like that's not doing anyone any favors. It's really nuts. It's nuts that there's 3 brothers who are competing at this level. Well, 2. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Ouch. What when you see Saxon go at the games, are you like, yeah, I'm so fucking proud of him? Dude, I could beat him in 3 of these workouts easy.
I mean, I always say that, but I'm like watching him compete, I feel like I'm competing. Like I actually think it's more intense watching him and Scott compete. It's like that snatch event at the games this year, like, oh my goodness, like that was like I wish I had a Whoop on to like track my heart rate for that.
Well, let's get Matt out of the way here. Thank you, Matt, for the $5. I'll use that wisely. For almost a gallon of gas in California. Question for Spencer: where can I find the Stars and Stripes knee sleeves you and your brother sometimes wear?
I think they actually discontinued them. I get that message so much, and like I can't find them anywhere. Those knee sleeves are so old. I think I got them in like 2014 or 2015.
Sounds like they need to bring them back. Seems like they'd be popular. You should talk to a sponsor or something and be like, "Hey, man, I get questions about this all the time. Let's run it back, Spencer Panchik edition, 2022."
Yeah, they're like my lucky knee sleeves. Sax and I mean, we got them at the games. It was I really think it was like 2014 or 2015, and we've been wearing them since.
It's amazing. I didn't even know there was an Isaiah 41:13.
What?
Like I know more about. I read more interviewing you guys, the elite athletes of just from various backgrounds. That's how I get my Bible reading in every day. Because everyone has a Isaiah 40. Isaiah. Thank you. Isaiah 41:13. Brian, you just earned your keep. For I am Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand. I don't know why it has to be your right hand. A racist. And says to you, do not fear, I will help you. Why did that come after the cliff fall?
Yes and no.
Because if it didn't, you need your money back. Yo, dude, 75 feet. I had my right hand up like this the whole time.
Yeah, that experience was really crazy, and it brought us in a complete different path on where we were going in our life, and it was a blessing in disguise, really, is what it was. And like if I had to sum that up, it was we wouldn't be where we are today, and who knows what would have happened if that never happened.
Yeah. How about that quote? Do you remember why that resonates with you? Did you hear it in a song? Did you read it? Did your mom tell it to you? Do you know?
My dad's actually has this book that he puts on the table every morning, and there's always like little quotes that like stick out of it, but he gets it from church and he'll bring it in, and there's just always little ones that like stick out, and I don't even remember posting that one, but it's just that day. There's always different things that like really like resonate with me.
You have a lot of quotes in there, and I don't see a lot of athletes who do this. And I'm kind of a quote guy too. I'm the whole self-help genre. I fucking love. I love Eckhart Tolle. I love any like Jesus teachings. I sort of stayed away from Tony Robbins just out of pure prejudice and ego on my part. I'm like, nah, he's too popular for me. You got Abraham Hicks in there. But Do you go to church a lot?
I used to. I've become like very, very spiritual, and I don't know. I started working with my dad a little bit. He goes to church every day, and I don't know. It's just different.
And I asked that because yes, some of the quotes you have, it seems like, so my sister's pretty hardcore. Like she's like hardcore.
Is that a spiritual t-shirt you're wearing, Sava?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Do you know what? This is like one of my favorite t-shirts in the world. And I never wear it because I'm afraid that every time I wash it, this thing is just going to come off, this logo. And usually you can't see it when I wear it, but I got this new 4K camera so you could see just naked people. It's funny going to parent-teacher conferences when my kids were in the indoctrination camp, and I would wear this shirt. It was kind of weird. Were you homeschooled?
Right after our accident, we were for a year, and then we were able to get back into school.
Oh, not because your parents are like wackadoodles, like me and my wife. Just for a reason. Okay.
Maybe you, but come on, your wife is not.
That's. I think my wife set me on the path to be a wackadoodle, and then took 2 steps back and got off of it. Because I asked that because my wife would not. My sister is very religious, and like she keeps all her quotes like in the Jesus book, like from like the Bible, and yours are like all over the place.
Yeah.
And this is a great quote from Tony Robbins you give. And it's weird that I believe stuff like this. Goals are like magnets. They'll attract the things that make them come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a trip.
Yeah, there's like it's just it's really like being in alignment, and I truly believe like you go down the path of least resistance, and really like when you give up like trying to like fight for things, that's when like stuff really starts kind of like falling in your lap. And yeah, I mean, you see it even with games athletes. It's like somebody who maybe hasn't qualified for the CrossFit Games, and it's like, all right, I'm done. And then they're just having fun in the gym, and then all of a sudden they go and they qualify for the games, and they're like, I'm just having fun with my fitness. And they just gave up all resistance of trying to let that happen, and it happened.
It's kind of I didn't get. I don't know if that's exactly what happened with Ariel Lowen, but let's just say it did. That's we had her on a couple of days ago. The connection was so bad, so we couldn't dig that out. But I think that's what happened with her. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember it was a while ago, but I remember it was Daniel Tyminski when he retired, and he's just like, I'm just doing it for fun, and he went and qualified.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many cases of like stuff like that happening just in CrossFit, but I'm sure in business, and there's probably so many examples of things like that happening.
You can't relax. So I better not say that. Someone will take it seriously. I was gonna make a steroid joke, but someone will take it seriously. Where were you born?
Pittsburgh.
Did you come first or your brother?
Saxon had me by a minute.
Oh, okay, just a minute.
Just a minute.
And from a young age, does he remind you that he's older than you?
I never got front seat.
Oh no shit! It was like that.
I never got front seat, but I always got to open my Christmas presents first.
Was that the trade-off? Seriously?
Well, it was always youngest got to open the gifts first.
Oh,
oldest
that's
up front.
Awesome! Wow.
Oldest up front.
I like it how your parents scarred both of you. All right, we'll start with you.
That was actually my older brother's probably. It was like, you were in the back.
My sister always got the front seat, and she always got to choose the radio station and all that shit. I hated that shit. Thanks for reminding me. That left that. And there's more than just the 3 of you. There's 2 more?
There's actually 6 of us total.
Wow. And so can you tell me their names and in the order they come?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest. Saxon. I have a sister, Shayna. I have another.
Was she
brother.
the one who did a team at West Coast Classic this year?
Yeah, she did a team at West Coast. Another brother, Steve, Scott, and then I have an older brother, Sean.
How often do you tell the story of you falling off the cliff? Do you tell that once a year?
Usually on like podcasts and stuff.
Right.
I try and avoid telling it because I don't know. It's just that it's a very long story, and I don't know. It's a good reminder sometimes, but I'm also in a different chapter in my life right now.
Yeah. Explain to me, by the way, anyone who wants to hear that story in detail can go back to the podcast with Saxon. He's far more open than Spencer. What is the reason? I feel you on that about being in a different chapter, but there's something underneath that. I feel like, what do you mean by that? Like, was that gnarly?
Yeah, I mean, it just yes, it defines me of like where I am in life, but at the same time, I don't know, it opened up a bunch of different doors for me, and it got me to where I am, and now I'm just kind of in the moment.
Yeah, it could have you could have ended up having to go to barbelljobs.com for a job, but you don't. Instead, you're persevering and trying to go to the games. You have your own gym?
Yeah, so I actually did, and then we actually just closed.
How come?
Our landlords.
Oh,
So so our landlords, they gave us a late notice on getting into a new space. They wouldn't renew our lease, and we were like working hard to try and find a space, and all the warehouses around like where we are, like there's a waiting list on everything. So the closest place we could get was like probably like 15-20 minutes away, and for us it'd be really hard to maintain our membership. Like it would just split everything. So right now we just got a space for us to kind of train and see where the year leads us, and maybe we come back and pick up where we left off and we can find a space.
that's stressful.
Oh, very stressful.
What are the and you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
So you have I'm thinking of all the things that are emotionally taxing your life. Girlfriend, business. Anything else? Do you have kids?
No kids.
No kids.
Nieces and nephews.
Are those the big things? So your business is done. You're done. What was the name of your gym?
CrossFit Cliffside.
And so you're done.
Yeah.
What will you do? Are you tripping?
No. I mean, like I said, I truly believe everything happens for a reason, and we worked as hard as we could to find a new space, and we just couldn't make it happen. And this is just where life's taking us right now, and it gives us a full year to just focus on competing, and that's what we're gonna do.
Who's us?
Saxon and I.
Didn't
We own it together.
Oh, for some reason I thought he had a separate gym. No, Scott has a separate
Scott
gym.
has a separate gym. So his is about 45 minutes from us.
And that's CrossFit Mentality.
Yeah.
And why did you guys open your own gym and move distance yourself from him? Bad breath?
It just gave us a chance to kind of do our thing and grow something. We always wanted to keep changing people's lives, and that was through fitness, and it allowed us to do that on a bigger scale.
Gotcha. No, like we'll show Scott, or we're big boys too, or we won't be in Scott's shadow, or nothing like that. No, like axe to grind or something to prove we're our own people, but we're gonna stay together as twins.
No, not at all. I mean, we still train together, and it's cool when we get a chance to just throw down and have fun. But Wodapalooza will be really cool to do it together. We haven't competed together individually since the last regional.
Which was very exciting. If you were not around back then, you should go back and watch the East Regional from 2018. It was a crazy finish.
Oh, it was nuts.
I'm having deja vu.
How long ago did you know that Scott was going to compete at Wodapalooza?
Pretty much the day they posted it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about Wodapalooza. If people don't know, is they are really open to working with athletes on their own terms and schedules. So you can sign up pretty late for that if you receive an invitation. But like, I have access to a lot of the back end stuff to prepare for that competition, and I saw it on their Instagram before I knew about it, even on any of the back end stuff. So I was just curious if you guys had known.
Well, I'm like, bro, you're training really hard. He's like, I like fitness, man. And then he called me. He's like, hey, I'm going individual.
Damn.
Wait. You guys lost me. Are you talking about this year?
Yeah.
This year.
When was that announced?
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's not on your list. I didn't update your list. I'm sorry.
I'm going over to their account now. Hey, so Scott's not retired.
I guess not.
Wow.
Who called that, Sava?
Me. This girl is your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Have you seen her ID?
She's older than me.
Oh, all right, just checking. All right, just checking. And how did you meet her?
So it's actually funny. She's actually her family grew up with my family back in Pittsburgh. But when we first opened up the gym, she was one of the first people that came in. She was living in Colorado at the time, and then ended up moving back, and then we just kind of connected, and it's crazy.
Okay, hold on a sec, buddy. You open a business and a girl comes and stalks you there is not a weird story. That is totally normal, and that's the kind of that happens every single day, where someone works somewhere and someone sees them and stalks them. Are you trying to tell me that like she didn't know you own that gym?
No, well, her family actually knew my family.
Yeah.
But her mom and my mom, they actually went to high school together in Pittsburgh. So they kind of I think they kind of set it up in a way, to be honest.
So she would come in there and it would just be like, you know, when you open a gym, there'll be classes with just one person. It would just be you and her. You'd be just coaching her in a class.
She actually dropped in when she was back from like Colorado, and then went back out there, and then came back like a year or 2 years later.
And how long have you guys been together?
About a year.
Is there a learning curve with being close to you in terms of your commitment to competition?
Yeah, she gets it. And it's like, it's I don't know. It's a weird balance of just training. Like it's hard. A lot of people don't really get like what goes into it. It's like, I mean, some people will be like, you just sit in the gym all day, but it's like you hit a workout and then it's like you fuel your body, you recover, and then you go again. And it's like every day.
And how about this stuff? I'll give you this example. So like if I'm coming in here to do a podcast with you, like minutes before the podcast start, I'll start like playing it in my head. You know what I mean? Okay, he'll come on and I'll start like, should I ask him how close he is with his brother? Should I start with where he was born? And then the dialogue will start, and you'll like I'll play your role too. Like I'll start talking for you, right? And if my wife says to me something like, oh, hey, do you mind taking out the trash? It'll fuck with me a little bit, but it's cool. Like I can do it. But if she says something emotional to me, like if she gets mad at me for something, like, hey, that wasn't cool what you fucking did last night, I want to talk to you about it. I'm fucked. I'm a fucking like I might just snap and fucking explode like on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I can't have someone who's so close to me because she lives in there, right?
Yeah.
Like in my head. Like I don't let anyone else live there, but a little bit, Brian. She lives in there, and is she aware of that? Like I don't even know after 20 years if my wife is aware of that. Like holy shit, like she could snap her fingers and all my shit could unravel.
No, I think it's just communication and just being very transparent with each other.
And in this regard, just giving you space, being emotionally supportive around like even if she has something that like she wants to talk to you about, like, hey, it's 2 minutes before you're about to go in the gym and put a 3-hour session. Now is not the time.
Yeah, she would never do that.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy that she already knows that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my wife's phone number, and no.
I think you should give your wife's phone number to his girlfriend. That's who he needs to talk to.
If he starts acting like Sevon, run. Your when you have do you know what it's like to have a twin, or do you not know since it's all you know?
I think I don't know what it's like to not be a twin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I was telling Sax, it's like, I don't think we've ever spent more than a week apart. It's crazy. Like our whole lives, it's insane to even think about.
So you're in the womb together, obviously. Were you guys in your own sack, or did you guys share a sack? Are you identical?
Yeah, we're identical.
Okay, so you guys were squished in there. And And then did you sleep in the same bed together growing up?
We had bunk beds actually.
And how old were you when you got those?
I don't even know, maybe like 6, 7 years old.
And then before then, where did you sleep? Did you sleep in your parents' bed, or do you remember?
Now, like there were so many of us, we were just crammed in the room. I think the
right.
bunk beds just kind of fit a little better, but
Right.
Zach's always got the top bunk.
And then what would cause you to be apart? Like, what would cause you to be apart for a week?
Just competing and stuff. It hasn't been like till like recently when we spent like more time apart. But yeah, it was just, I think when I went to Dubai and competed, and I think that was really the only time that like we ever spent, like, I think that was the longest we ever spent apart.
Yeah, it's nuts. My boys, Avi's 7 and my twins are 5. And I can't, outside of one of them spending the night at my mom's house, I don't think not only are they together always, they sleep in the same, they have one king size bed and they all just sleep in there every night.
That's awesome.
Even though they each have their own fucking bed, they don't go to their own bed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's such a trip. When you are apart, do you guys talk every single day?
Yeah.
And who calls who first?
I don't know. It's usually a FaceTime, to be honest. It's about something so random. Like, I'll get a FaceTime from him and it's just like his kid's face just like smashed up on the camera.
Have you seen him change since he's had kids?
A little bit. I mean, not a whole lot. His wife does such a good job with just taking care of the kids and letting him do his thing and focus on training. And he's just found such a good job with like balance of family time and training time.
He's not like, hey, you got to have one, dude. You can't believe how great it is. Hurry up. None of that shit. Or,
no.
Dude, do not have a kid.
No, neither one of them.
You know, this is Scott. That was Scott. Right?
Yeah, that was Scott. But I was actually referencing Saxon. Saxon has a kid, right, too?
He has twins.
Holy shit, that's right. Yeah, crazy. Sorry, Sousa doesn't know the difference between Saxon, Spencer, and Scott. And your mom named you all 3 S's. Clever.
All 6 of us have an S.
Do they put
Saxon, Shayna, Steve, Scott, Sean? Oh, yes.
When you guys were on sports teams, and if you ever had a jersey that said like the names on the back, would it just say Panchik? Would it say S Panchik? Would they do SP Panchik?
That was Panchik.
Just Panchik.
We could swap them out whenever we wanted.
What's the significance of Wodapalooza going to this? What's for you?
It's a chance to just go and have fun, and like I'm excited that Scott's going down there too, and it gives us a chance to go do something together but separately, and it's gonna be fun. Like, how many people can say that they had a chance to compete with their brothers? And I grew up watching Scott play college football, and like that was something I always wanted to do. And I have pictures of him like taking he would take a picture with us after the games, and I was so small, and he's literally like a college guy. And just to be able to have the opportunity to do something together, like I never would have thought of it.
So you're stoked that he's your big brother?
Yeah.
Like, just awesome big brother.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. How are your parents? Pretty happy?
Yeah, they're actually going down to watch us.
Yeah, your parents must be high as a kite. Your parents probably haven't come down from how high they are since you got in that accident. You fucked that part up. But other than that, they've been high as a kite. What an amazing thing to have all those kids to cherish and love.
Will you guys plan like the travel and the lodging at Wodapalooza as a family all together, or do you guys all kind of do your own thing?
Now, Sax and I, we always travel together, and so we're staying. We got an Airbnb together, and then Scott got his own. He wasn't supposed to compete, so he got something that was like different, and now he's competing. So,
what do you think what do you do for that, Brian? Does he just like text O'Keefe and be like, "Yo, it's me, Scott"? Yes, Mr. Panchik. And he's like, put me in, coach. And that's it. It's that easy.
I don't think it's O'Keefe. I think there's a competition team that you receive. I mean, Spencer probably knows better than me, but you receive an invitation and then you have the opportunity to respond up to it. I'm guessing a certain date.
Yeah. I know he got an invite and he didn't say yes or no. And then I know he just showed up.
He just
so.
left it in his inbox, just sitting there every day,
So,
contemplating.
coming out of retirement.
I think actually his only hesitancy in coming out of retirement was that Sevan would then be correct.
Yes. No one wants me to be correct. Oh, it does say something about Scott. I mean, it says something about everyone who's competing here, especially in the men's group, but it does say something about Scott to like come and test the waters here. Like, why not just why not just go to a local comp? But he's going. I mean, these are sharks. This is a nasty group of dudes.
Right before he actually, I was at his house for New Year's, and he's like, "Hey, like, come in the garage and like do this workout. I just did it," and I'm like, "No," and I was like, "You're gonna have to show up." But he wanted to see like where his fitness was to mine.
Wait, tell me that again. On New Year's, you're over. Like, are you like just in your regular clothes? Like, are you in jeans and shit?
I was just in jeans and a Penguin jersey, and he's just like, "Come do this workout."
Like, you're in his living room, and he's saying that to you?
Yeah, he actually walked me out to the garage and was like, "This is it. If you want to do it."
Wow.
Did he convince you, or did you say? Did you pass?
He didn't convince me.
So, yeah, that's good. Keep him in the dark.
And do you guys just keep looking at each other and laughing? Like,
I was like, he's like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Bro, just come down to Wodapalooza."
My goodness.
Was this past games the first time that either of you had ever placed higher than Scott in a competition when Saxon did?
I think so. I mean, maybe in like a quarterfinal or an open. I can't remember, but I know like something that was like significant. And I think it was this year. Yeah.
Are you going to the games this year, Spencer?
That's the plan.
Do you see it?
Do I see it?
Yeah.
I think about it every night. I mean, that's something I've been thinking about ever since Scott competed in his first games. That was, I want to be out there.
And when you say you think about it, what's that look like? Like what you're gonna wear there, how you're gonna get there.
Yeah, just the feeling of stepping out on the floor and looking around and just visualizing everything and literally, what does it smell like? What does it look like? How does it feel? I don't know. There's so many different things that go through my mind of that feeling of just stepping out on the competition floor.
Do you have to put energy into that, or the second you lie down, those things just start flowing, and then you pay attention, you become present and pay attention to them?
I don't know. I do like a lot of like meditating. So like when I get up in the morning, it's just something that I kind of say to myself, and then I'll just kind of sit down and just get into a meditation.
Define that word for me. Meditation. What does that mean to you?
For me, it's just I mean, there's so many different meanings to it, but like for me, it's just throwing me in a good state for the day, and just like focusing on like my goals and everything that I really want to accomplish that day. That's old school right there.
We had a big brother who played football, and I was just a little boy. You said something like that. Right? This is 9 years ago. So you were, God, this is like just like going through puberty for you.
Yeah, that was right after his first games.
This is like you're 16. You barely drive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what's crazy? Look at your which side are you on?
I'm on the left.
In the red shirt?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Look at your body. It's the exact same body, but with like 20 pounds less of muscle. Right? How much do you weigh there?
I don't even know. Probably, what was that, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
So I was what?
16?
I don't know. I was probably like 140, 150 pounds.
And how tall are you?
5'8".
And were you 5'8" then? Were you done growing at 16?
I was probably pretty darn close.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
at least
done.
Height.
I was done growing when I was 14. And how much do you weigh now?
I bounce between like 180 and 185.
Damn. I wasn't even close. That's 40 pounds of muscle ago. And that's like, isn't that right? Like they say you can put like 5 to 7 pounds of muscle on a year. And obviously that's like in your peak testosterone years, right? I mean, you're just turning into a man. So that would be if you put on not 3, 4, 5, yeah, you put on 4 to 5 pounds of muscle every single year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And are you grinding at this time? You're a 16-year-old boy and you've already started the journey.
Oh yeah.
This actually is a really good question because, a lot of people like to have the conversation of when is an appropriate time for someone to start training in CrossFit. And you guys have had, without even really knowing it, an opportunity to start doing it at a fairly young age, 15, 16 years old. Have you like given any thought to that? Like looking back at it and said like, maybe we would have done something differently at 15, 16, 17, 18 to set us up for a career in a different way? Or do you think you went about it differently? Or what can you share with someone who might, be that age now thinking about it?
So it was really cool because like our goal was to always use the women's weight, and it was to try and hang with Scott. And I truly believe that strength, like Savant said, like is like every year, like especially like from puberty on, like you're gonna put anywhere between 4 to 8 pounds of muscle on, and the more weight you put on, the stronger you're gonna get. So it's just about building like just that engine and like that sense of like being able to hurt and be uncomfortable and know how to approach a workout. So like it wasn't all like we weren't fixated on clicking an RX button, but it was can we hit the time stimulus? And
wait, what's that mean?
Or time domain.
That's an important thing that people should understand right there.
Yeah, explain that to me. You could hit the time domain, meaning what's that mean?
So whatever Scott would hit, like, I mean, he was at the top. He took 4th that year, and our goal was to be right where he was, and like that was the purpose. Was like you look at like
lower the weight so you could do all the workouts in his time domain. That's one of the primary principles you guys thought as a kid. So if he did Fran in 3 minutes, you'd be like, okay, we can do Fran with a 25-pound bar in 3 minutes, so we'll do it.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Even if it was just like scaling the pull-ups down, but it was just like we would look at it and we'd look at kind of like where we were, like especially with like gymnastics and stuff, like where our skills were at, and our goal would be to hit the same time, and whatever we had to do that while maintaining integrity in every movement. Like that's what we would do, because it's so easy to get caught up in clicking the RX button and you get to a barbell and you just stare at it, or you get to the rings and it's just like you stare at it, and it's just are you really like, are you at that point, are you really getting much fitter? Yes.
Does
and
Facundo
no.
see, what does Facundo think of that when you tell him that? And who came up with that idea? There's 3 questions I have for you. Can you give me an example of a workout you did as a young boy that was like, tell me exactly what you did. Like, did you do Fran with 25 pounds and instead of doing 21:15.9, you did 9:99? And then once you could do that in 3 minutes, you switched it to 9:10. Like, can you give me an example? The second thing is whose idea was that? And Facundo is your current coach, right?
Yeah.
What's he think about that when you tell him, hey, that's how we started? Those are the 3 things.
Yeah, where do you want me to start?
Anywhere you want. I'll derail you and start talking about my shirt again if you want.
Yeah. So something like Fran, like as a kid, we look at that and we could do the pull-ups, no problem. So we'd keep 21:15.9 and then like 9.75 thrusters, and maybe a little bit heavier, maybe be like 75 pounds, but we could still build a little bit of strength. But yes, we'd maybe move a little slower through the thrusters, but like we would spend the same amount of time on that as the pull-ups.
And whose idea was it to do that?
I don't know. It was just it just made it competitive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So Scott would be, it was a way you guys could push Scott.
Yeah. I mean, there was like no rhyme or reason, because Scott was using CrossFit to train for football. So like he would run with the football. I remember we were at CrossFit Pittsburgh and he would run with the football, and like our goal would be to get out the door behind him, and like we're running behind him. We're just trying to smack this football out of his hand.
Wait, you were at CrossFit Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I think that was the very first place I ever interviewed Greg Glassman.
Really?
And I think there's the owner there was this woman,
Mike Petrogala and Jen. Mike and Jen.
Yeah, I did a workout against Jen that was on main site.
Yeah.
A wall ball rope climb workout. I had never done a rope climb before.
Yeah, those guys, they loved the main site. That's like, we would know, like we would get up in the mornings and we'd look at the main site workout, and it was like 90% of the time it was a main site workout.
Hey, God, you knuckleheads. If Seven went to a CrossFit gym, he would understand the concept. Shut your pie hole. I mean, thank you for listening. Okay. So, you did that, and Scott was using it for football. I was going to ask you something about that. I refer to my twins. I'm probably scarring them horribly by saying this to them. I refer to my kids as Avi and then as two training partners. Like, hey, I just had you guys to train Avi. But there is and I joke about it, but there is a component of truth to that through a certain age, right? As you guys are chasing him, it's he's the rabbit?
Yeah.
But it's mutually helpful, right?
Yeah. So it was always funny because like everyone always assumes that Scott started CrossFit before us, and like really we were just developing. We were younger, and our bodies were they were just growing.
I would make that assumption too. Yeah, I think you're right. I make that assumption.
Yeah, but it was really cool, and it was just we used it at two different ways. He would use it for a sport, and we were using it to just be competitive.
Wait, so it's not true? He didn't start before you? You started at the same time?
We started the same. My dad actually started before us and got us involved.
Wow. So like literally, like he's like, "Hey boys, come to the gym," and then you guys did your first workout basically together.
Yeah.
Seven, I'll be right back.
It was fight gone bad.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, Brian. Did Brian get a haircut? That wasn't my first workout, but that was like the first workout. They did fight gone bad at my L1, and that was like probably like the first one I really like went as hard as I could.
It's because you guys start going up next to people, and it's like, all right, I got to keep moving at a fast pace.
Yes. Yeah, that was brutal. Are you stronger? You know what I'm gonna say?
No.
Are you more fit at 25 than Scott was at 25? If we go back in time, can you put a whooping on 25-year-old Scott Panchik?
I think the whole sport evolved, and I think
don't be nice. You don't got to couch it.
I think Scott right now is stronger than Scott at 25.
Right.
So I would say yeah. But I think that's like the more time you spend in the sport, like we grew up playing the sport, or not playing the sport, but like doing CrossFit, and he didn't start CrossFit until he was in college. So it's like I had a lot of those like younger years to really develop and just build up the mechanics through every movement. And not saying that he didn't, but it gave us more time to be able to do it from a younger age.
Well, my younger kids are like developing like this is a little bit of a stretch because there's some things missing in their skill set, but they're developing about a year faster than Avi.
Really?
Yeah. So basically they're reading, they're doing math faster, they're skateboarding faster, they're doing gymnastics faster. I mean, because they're mimicking him, they're like chasing him down. Of course, they're still really sloppy. Like even though they're doing stuff a year earlier than him, it's not to the caliber. But like Avi didn't start riding a skateboard till he was 5.5, and my twins at 5 can ride skateboards already.
Why do you think that is?
They're just chasing him down. They just have a crazy role model. The poor Avi was stuck with fucking me as a role model. I'm a fucking buffoon. I can barely tie my shoes. And these guys got him, you know?
That's so cool though. Like, that's the perks of having brothers. It's you look at the Watt brothers in the NFL. I think it's very fascinating watching them. Their dad was in the NFL, and he broke that milestone, and then all of a sudden now you have 3 brothers. One of them's the top defensive player of the year, right behind his older brother. But like they keep setting the bars higher and higher, and it's like the sub 5-minute mile. Like once you break through that, it's easy, and people see that it's attainable.
Yeah, you knew a guy that you saw every single day who could squat 3 plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew anyone who could do that. You know what I mean? Unless they were some sort of games athlete I was filming. So like for me, it was just like squat 1 plate. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the whole bar has been changed for you guys. I think I would speculate it'd be interesting to talk to your parents because of Scott. Well, and your other siblings, right? Anyone who's older than you saw, you're like, I guess it's like that phenomenon. Someone's going to bring it up, I'm sure. But once someone broke the 4-minute mile,
yeah,
Like they just start pouring in, right? Then there's a dozen guys in the next 2 years who do it. I shouldn't say pouring in, but
that's what I meant. 4 minute mile, not 5.
Oh, did you say that? Okay,
I said 5. Yeah. I meant 4. But it's like it just shows you that like once it's done, it's like, oh wow, it was like a 300-pound snatch. I remember I think it was Easy hit it. I think that I was training with Rich, and then Rich hit it, and then it was just like, now you look at the MAC, there was like 7 or 8 guys that hit it in the course of 10, 15 minutes.
I don't think that's going to happen with a 500-pound snatch like Lasha did, though.
Who did a 500-pound snatch?
This crazy guy from the Republic of Georgia.
Oh, I think I saw him. He's giant. He wears the red singlet.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys knocking down that door anytime soon.
That's crazy.
What do you think about do you know who Adam Klink is?
Yeah, with the 5 minute mile or sub 5 and 500-pound back squat.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's so impressive.
When you see him do that, are you like, does you go, oh, okay, I'm gonna get that?
I mean, I definitely like. I remember watching. It was I think Kalipa was talking about it, but he was just like, you're gonna start seeing like a sub 500 mile and a 400 clean and jerk or a 500-pound back squat, and then all of a sudden like people start doing it. But yeah, like you see it, and it's like, I mean, maybe it's just from having brothers. It's like anytime Saxon goes in and does a workout, he'll do really well. I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it.
And it's funny you said, because you did do that. You did that just the other day. You made a post. I think it was a 340-pound.
Oh, the jerks.
Yeah, 340-pound overhead for 3. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's where having training partners like your brothers could be kind of risky, right? It's the end of the day. Let me see if I can find that. It's at the end of the day. You paint the picture for me. What happened that day? Why? And tell me what happened that day, and I'll pull up the video.
Yeah. Well, it was actually, so we were working up. I think it was a 2 rep shoulder to overhead. And I hit 315, and then I missed 325, and then Saxon threw on 345, and then he hit it. I'm like, you know what? Just leave it on there.
But this is at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it was like midday. We were wrapping up our training that day.
And this is where shit could get sideways, right? Having someone who's pushing you. These are the stories you hear about where it's like, yeah, like these are the questions people have for Mayhem or for Comp Train or for these places or for Training Think Tank where you get too many animals in one room and they start biting each other. This is like, hey, maybe you should have put it away, but because your brother was there, you did. This is 340 for 3, right?
I don't know. It was either 2 or 3. I think it was 2. I think it was a push jerk and a split jerk.
Go ahead.
Oh, to answer your question, it just depends, and it's just being transparent with whoever you're training with. Like, there's days where like Saxon has hit something, and I'm like, you know what, that's not feeling good today. I'm not going to do that, and vice versa. So it's going off feeling, like putting your ego aside. But like,
it is 340 for 3, by the way, not 2. I love it how it's just a few days ago and you still can't fucking, like, you're so humble. I guess that's that's someone who's just always moving forward. Like me, I would circle around that for like 10 years.
He still talks about his 10 overhead squats at 175.
Yeah. I was 35. That was 14 years ago. So you're saying you know yourself. You're at 25. You're not going to hurt yourself. You feel confident. Yeah,
I feel confident. It's just it's listening to your body, and I think there's a time and place for it. But it's knowing that, I mean, we train together every day, and it's just knowing if he can do it, I can do it, and there's days to test that, and there's days to not test that.
Do you think you have similar mentalities?
Absolutely.
You said in one of your posts, while I was growing up, my parents taught me one big thing that always stuck with me. That was to keep fighting for what you believe in. That's a pretty good thing for all parents to hear. Do you remember what the context was for that? Like, was there something that happened? Like,
yeah, I think it was after I missed the games. I think that was. What was the date on that? Do you know?
I don't know.
It was probably. I think that was right after I missed the games this year, and it's knowing your capabilities. And I look back and I just missed out on my games ticket from West Coast, and it wasn't from like a physical standpoint, but it was more of just like a mindset. And like I know exactly what I'm capable of. I train with Sax and Scott like regularly, and it's just being able to go out there and execute, and that's the biggest thing. It's trusting myself, and knowing when you step out on the competition floor that the work's done, and it's just showing up and trusting yourself.
Was that a result at West Coast Classic more devastating than Last Chance Qualifier this year? Was it harder to accept?
You there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Ask again, Brian, one more time.
Was the near miss?
Wait. Stand by.
Okay.
Stand by. He's showing us his wedding ring. Oh, that's a nice wedding ring.
Yeah, I don't know why it went out. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Though.
You can't hear us. Let me ask you a few questions, Brian. Will Spencer make it to the games this year? Before he can hear us again.
I think he has a very good chance to, but
is he games caliber? Is he games caliber?
Yeah, I do think he's games caliber, yeah.
He's as good as Saxon?
Saxon's like top 5, top 10 at the games, and that's a little different, but I think he's good. Spencer is good enough to make it to the games.
Do you think he's referring to his not making it there based on execution? Whenever athletes say that, that's kind of scary to me. That means it makes me feel like the margins are so fucking slim.
They are really slim, and especially in the
sorry, I don't know why that went out like that.
That's okay. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, Brian. The margins.
While we were gone, Spencer, we were talking about how competitive it is and how minor execution errors can be the difference between making it or missing it. And we saw it at most of the live semifinals this year. It was harder to approximate what went down in the online ones. But what I was curious about was, because was it more devastating or harder to accept the near miss at West Coast Classic than the Last Chance Qualifier result?
Yeah, absolutely. West Coast, I mean, the Last Chance Qualifier was what it was. I think I put all my eggs in qualifying at West Coast, and I think it was just frustrating because I've done all those workouts before, like that snatch ladder. I did that workout a few times. I've done that so many times whenever they released it at regionals that year, and then I ran through it before, and my time should have been a top time. And it's just, you go out there and you get excited, and you're like, I want to show like I want my work to show for. Or I want my performance to show for the work that I put in, and you almost jump the gun and push the pace, and you can kind of burn yourself down in the process. So it's just, it's trusting yourself and knowing exactly like what you need to do.
Yeah. And just Sevan, in case you weren't clear, like we talked with Dallin Pepper about this on a different workout. He just didn't really know how to handle the D ball, and that ended up costing him. But when you look back at Spencer's results from West Coast Classic, it's we already talked about it. Like his proficiency at snatching is excellent, if not elite. And so to see that kind of a finish in that workout is one of those things where it does jump off the page as something like, I don't think that was necessarily on that day. Yeah, that's how good you did. But I know that that's a workout you can do a lot cleaner execution or run through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's it's just trusting yourself and just doing that.
It's got to be really nice to see how well Saxon did at the games.
That was really exciting. It was so cool.
For a lot of reasons, right? Like he really he sent a message home to you.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. Like one of us can win this shit.
Yeah.
Like we're in there. He represented. Like
he
holy shit. Like he's in the mix. He's in the mix. He's and it's not easy, right? What
watching, or what do you mean?
No, it's not easy. So here's the part when you turned out, I used the opportunity to talk shit about you. I said, hey man, does this guy really have a chance to fucking go to the games? It makes me nervous when he says the margins are so slim. And Brian's like, hey, no, but that's the way it is. Like it sucks that like you could be good enough to win the games, but like you could just come out of your lane a little bit and the whole fucking thing unravel. Like you hit the island and fucking a wheel pops off and you're done.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that I've learned is like, at least this year is like, I mean, Sax and I, we do the same training, same programming, train together every day. And it's just, we go blow for blow. And it's just like, it goes back to like what I said earlier. If he can do it, I can do it. And
does he say the same thing? If Spencer can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it's just, it's showing up on game day. And it's like, I truly believe you could be the fittest on earth and not show up and execute the way that you need to. And like, that's where people are beatable.
And I mean, two things, like it was really obvious if you go watch back the games and you have a good understanding of what that means to execute workouts, you can see that that's why Justin won the games this year. He executed better than the guys who were right up there with him. They had little mistakes that cost him. He didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always going to be something that doesn't fall in your favor, whether, I don't know, if judge misses a call or I don't know, something with a workout or standard or whatever it is. And it's just, it's limiting those. And like, anytime you get a chance to like give yourself a buffer, you need to.
Yeah. And then the other thing about the margins is, Sevan, is like something happened at the games this year that was kind of crazy to me. You know, they announced that they were going to have the cut system after 10 events. And I said, that's good. 10 events is like, that's enough events where you should be able to get down to the top 20 guys. But then after 10 events, Cole Sager was in 20th. And after 11 events, he was in 14th. He jumped 6 more spots in one workout, 11 events into the games. Like, that's how tight it is. And that's why I don't think there should be cuts at the games, because even late into the weekend, there's so much opportunity for these guys who are all so fit and so close to make big moves.
Yeah. I don't remember who it was, but someone was saying yesterday, basically, or a couple days ago, the same thing, that basically when you do the cuts too soon, the workouts aren't broad enough to really choose the fittest. And I mean, it's kind of obvious, and you knock certain people out. I think that the year that though they're referencing, it was because there were too many cooks in the kitchen. I know the responsibility falls on Dave, but behind the scenes, I think there was a lot of pressure on him because Greg and the CEO at the time just opened up the floodgates and let in too many athletes. I mean, that was the year they invited Hunter McIntyre too, right? I mean, that was just complete like.
Hey, you know what?
I think my mom got an invite too.
No, I think everyone,
yes.
Everyone who doesn't know who wasn't there assumes that was because of Greg, and I mean that's what I assume, and that's fine.
Yes.
So
he wanted to change the direction, and it's his. It was his. It's his sandpit. If he says like, hey, yeah. Anyway, you know what's interesting about so Dave's gone. And I was talking to Taylor Williamson about this, and I said, hey, like if your dog got hit like by a car, Taylor, your whole fucking life would be thrown upside down and you'd be fucking sad for the week. And I would pretend like I cared. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And, maybe at most I would hug my dog a little more, like just thinking about her losing her dog. And I said, so I said, Dave getting fired, does that like really matter to you? Like for me, it's like, fuck, it's like, it's hard. Because no one wants to see one of their friends lose their job, right? That's how he puts food on the table. That's how he pays his family. Fuck all the other shit. I just think about it like from a man perspective, like, hey, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
And I go, does it affect you? She goes, and I loved her candidness. She's cool as shit for this. She said, no, I don't give a fuck if he's there, he's not there. I just want to make sure. I just want to know what the programming is now. I want to know who the programmer is so I can start thinking about like how it directly affects me. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's young. She's under 30. But for you, I can remember you as a young boy at the CrossFit Games pulling up to the back. I think I would even holler at you guys, like hoot and holler at you guys when I was doing behind the scenes. Oh my God, Scotty, look at little mini Scotties. And you guys would pull up in the car and he'd be like, you'd be taking him to the hotel room at night in between days in car. Do you remember that in Carson?
Yeah.
You guys would be in the car and it was fucking crazy. You guys all look so much alike. You for the young squad, there's probably not two guys who are more familiar with Dave than you and Saxon. Because of the proximity of Scott. And obviously Scott was one of Dave's favorites. Everyone has favorites. Scott went to New Zealand with the crew. And does it affect you? What are your thoughts on Dave going?
Yeah. I mean, Dave had a huge impact on my life. And I remember just growing up and literally you did like the behind the scenes and to like see like the whole inside of like how the games were built and like the thought and just everything. And that's something like that's what made me want to compete in the sport of CrossFit, was seeing the behind the scenes and just seeing everything that goes into it. And I think like Dave and you guys all changed my life. And I don't know what the future says with it.
Is any part of you disappointed? Like, oh shit, I wanted to, like, maybe it's something as simple as like, man, I really wanted to just compete like a few more years with Dave's programming, or like, hey, you know what, like things change and things move on. Or is it unsettling that you put so much effort into it and that there's change? Not that it's bad. I'm trying to interview as neutral as possible. You know, obviously I'm emotionally involved, but is there any, does it matter to you at all? Or is it just kind of just emotional stuff and like, hey, I got to stay focused. Like whatever happens, I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it really stinks with what happened. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to compete with Dave programming the games. That's something like, it's something I've always like visioned of. And just the way he'd announce workouts on the floor and like the anticipation. And he really put a show on for the people, and he was very strategic with everything. And that was something like that I always wanted to be a part of. And I got a small glimpse of it last year with being able to do the final open announcement with Saxon and Scott. And I was really, really lucky to have the opportunity to really do that. And to at least be able to experience that was really cool. But it stinks with what happened.
It is. Yeah. That is cool that you did get to go out and do that open announcement. I think that for the athletes, one of the other like cool things, and even in more recent years, I got to see this more up close as I got more involved at the games, was just how he interacts with the athletes there. Even though it's a subtle thing, as you leave the field at least once during the weekend, he gives you that fist bump and he says, you know, like, good work. And he's acknowledging, like, to me, that's an acknowledgement from him that like you earned your spot here this season. Mm-hmm. And that's like, for someone like you who's been around so long, chasing something like that could be a really powerful or meaningful moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
To put that in perspective, it is equally as intense for Dave at the games as it is for every single athlete. Like if you know him, you see a side of him that like almost make you uncomfortable. Like he's in pain. It's like his lips are pursed a little tighter. He's stressed out. His eyes are a little squintier. It's his fucking event, right? Yeah. It's like he doesn't want anything to fucking go wrong. Yeah. And to be honest, be completely honest with you, and transparent, from 2008 to as long as I was there, 2020, there was always something else in CrossFit also attacking Dave internally while he was also trying to run the games. It was nuts. I should give you a specific of that. So I'll give you an example. So in Carson, there was as the games were being broadcast, they were being broadcast on ESPN. And at that point, ESPN had said something attacking CrossFit on one of their news shows. And Greg at that point said, hey, told the broadcast team at the games, pull the feed, stop feeding the games to ESPN. So those politics are going on behind the scenes while Dave's actually trying to run the event. Wow. And there was always something like that. There was always something like the kind of stuff that you wouldn't tolerate from your girlfriend, or I wouldn't tolerate from my wife interrupting me before I go on this podcast, or your girlfriend. You're not married yet, right?
No.
There's no rush. I didn't mean to press you. That's the kind of shit Dave had going on. It was almost like people at HQ waited until the games were about to happen and be like, all right, let's really fuck with Dave. Let's see what he's made of. Let's give him crabs this week. Never had crabs?
Me? No.
If you're going to get a venereal disease, that's the one you want. It's like the most benign. It's like just like having fleas. It's just, I had crabs once. I was like, oh, only this. Whew, thank you. It's crazy.
So, Spencer,
you're actually like little crabs. And they eat your pubic hair and then they hang out in the follicle. And then like you can scrape them out, and I would scrape them out and I would collect them.
These are the things Spencer was hoping to learn today.
and like I was a hippie at the time, and like I didn't want to use like any like shampoos, lice shampoo or anything. And for some reason they're just in your pubic hair. They start to go down your leg a little bit. Anyway, and I would scrape them off and I would collect them in an Altoids container. And so I had like fucking hundreds of, and then finally I was like, oh, right, enough of this nonsense. This is fucking nuts. And I used some lice shampoo that one of my housemates had, who had dreadlocks, and they were fucking all dead.
Wow.
And I didn't tell anyone I had crabs. Like, you don't want to tell anyone you have crabs. But then I would come home from I went to UC Santa Barbara, and I would come home from like my classes, and like 3 of my roommates and like 3 people visiting would be like sitting on my bed, like smoking weed. And I'm like, fuck, these fucking people are going to get the fucking crabs. But I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Spencer. You're you're approaching like 10 years into this kind of training.
Yeah.
And for several of those years, I would say at least half of them, you've been pursuing like elite level excellence in the sport. And it's something that, I think people are still trying to evaluate and figure out of how long can a person really do that for? And on the other side, you have your brother, Scott, who's basically a decade older, who's been doing it for 10 years. And it seems to me like, you and Saxon could have the mentality that we still have 10 more years, possibly 10 more years.
I was just thinking that the other day. I'm like, Scott's coming back. I'm like, he's just setting the bar higher. I'm like, if he could go to his 35, then I got another 10 in me.
And if that was something you wanted to do, knowing what you know now, and having seen him do it through that next 8 to 10 years and how the body changes, etc., what are some of the things that you might that'll be important for you to maintain high level competitive excellence over another decade?
Yeah, it's staying healthy and having the right team in your corner to make sure you do that, not only from a programming standpoint, but just the mind and body.
And I remember 2018 we did it at the regional.
Wait, before you.
Oh no, we're not going anywhere.
2018. So he's really coming back?
Who, Scott?
Yeah. Do we know anything besides Wodapalooza? Is this just a test run, or is there a plan?
No, I have no idea. I just,
Okay.
I said, I found out like an hour before Wodapalooza released it. So I don't think he'd tell me anyways.
Susan, can you reach out to Scott and let's get him on before Wodapalooza? Let's see what the fuck is.
I'll reach out to him now. All right.
Send him a link now. Will you send him a link now and see if this turd will come on?
Just send him a link just to that group chat.
Yeah, just send him a link and see if he comes on. Okay, sorry, Brian. So 2018. So sorry, 2018.
We talked to Josh Bridges that year, and he was over 30 at that time. But he said that throughout his career, he'd spent more time and money on body work, really, the recovery process, than anything else. You're still only 25. Is that something that's a priority for you guys? How much time do you invest into the recovery, the body work outside of the training in the gym?
Yeah, I have a guy that he's actually from PA. He goes everywhere with me when I compete. He's gone to Brazil, Dubai, but he's always a guy that I won't compete without him. He just make sure I'm in the right just body and mindset. He does it all.
Yeah, I got a note here about this guy, and it would tell me his name.
Greg.
And what's his last name?
Russo. He's very private, and I was talking to somebody, and they're like, what's his website? I'm like, he doesn't have a website.
I feel like I've heard that name before, though.
Dude, Brian, oh shit, I'm on fucking Saxon's Instagram. What the fuck is happening here? You should hear the praises Spencer sings about this dude. This is the guy. This is the guy. So I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So I always just think it's a mental thing that these guys don't really do anything.
Yeah.
Like go wad zombie and
What?
and rub the bands. I just think it's all just like, I think it's all just meditation. I think it's all like.
Seven, you realize you just went from go wad to wad zombie in one word. Those are totally different.
That's what I mean. It's all just smoke and mirrors to me. But man, what do you say about this guy here? Okay.
Speaking of wad zombie, by the way, check this out. I don't know if he's on the podcast today, but he sent me this sticker.
Thank you. Okay. So I want to read this post to you. I had a herniated L4 and we met 3 years ago through a mutual friend. I had a herniated L4 and L5, and I was told I would never be able to compete in CrossFit 100% again. I was in so much pain moving. Tell me about that pain.
Oh, having a herniated disc.
Yeah. Did you have to crawl to the bathroom?
It was the most pain. I couldn't even sit still. It was the most painful thing. I slept in like one of those like gravity chairs. Like that was like my bed. That was the only like place I could get like relief.
Oh, I don't know what a gravity chair is. Are you upside down?
So like the ones they used to have at like the games in like the athlete area where it like slides back and you have like that like curve.
Okay.
I don't know. You see them by like poles sometimes.
Okay. I was in so much pain moving, let alone sitting as well. I decided to make the 5-hour trip to see him. After one session with him, I felt back to 100%. Is that really true? Because I have so much fucking back pain when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like not now sitting here talking to you, but I had basically had to stop lifting. Like, like I can't go through that again. Yeah.
I mean, I went from struggling to even I pick up a barbell to being able to deadlift heavy again. And, yeah, I mean, I truly believe it saved my whole career. And, just that one experience I had with him, it just stuck in. I mean, that's just going to be something that I stick with. And, it works for me.
What? Rusty trombone. I wanted, do you know what a rusty trombone is? It's when you don't want to know if you don't know. You're too young. But anyway, I wanted them to bring this picture up yesterday and they wouldn't. Because the guy Will who runs the back end he's like a Bible beater and he's a good dude. He's 22 and he just doesn't like. But I think it's fascinating. Not into the rusty trombone, by the way. Herniated disc. That's what I meant to look up. Oh, sorry. So is this it right here?
Yeah, I had like
I'm in big trouble with Souza, by the way. That's why I'm not allowed to run the back end. I'm going to get in big trouble. So that's it. It got pushed out.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like pushing like on like the nerve.
And do you know what he does?
I mean, he does everything. But
but do you know what he does to get that back in? Like, can you tell us? And then I do it to myself.
He'd be the guy that that'd be able to describe it. I don't want to say anything and be way off.
Every time I go to a body worker, I leave hurt. More
really?
Hurt. Yeah, every time. I've been 3 times. I hate those guys.
Well, that's why it's not that surprising to hear that Spencer's willing to make a 5-hour drive to see this guy, because I do think that there's a big component of just trusting that person with your body. And once you find, I mean, it's the worst thing was I had a chiropractor local and she moved, and I haven't found a chiropractor since then that I've trusted and wanted to go to if I was in need of one. And it's a big deal to have someone that, especially when you're competing at the level that they are.
Yeah. The guy that I work with, it was funny because
why do you call him the guy? Let's call him Greg.
Greg.
Yeah,
Because he's the guy that I use. But so Greg, he when I put that post out, I had to put like a disclosure on there because I mean the amount of messages that I got of linking him up with him was insane, and he got a ton of messages for it. But it's just he doesn't have a website, and really the only way to find him is through word of mouth.
Is that the guy? There's a
Greg, not the guy.
There's a picture of 2 guys that you work out with in one of the photos, and you call them your team. It's this guy and another. Mm-hmm. Did you work out with this guy too, Greg, a lot or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
What's that?
Do you work out with him also, with Greg?
Whenever I go out and see him.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Does he work with any other CrossFit athletes?
No.
Do you feel like you want to keep him a secret? Like it would be an advantage, like how probably Medeiros has his own special blend of podium.
Yeah, I mean,
is he your own? You know, like.
I mean, he has something special that I've never experienced. So I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to share him. But yeah, he doesn't really work with a whole lot of people, and yeah, like I said, he's somebody that you find from word of mouth, and really the only way people get in contact is he has a private Instagram, but he doesn't have a number. He doesn't. He does his thing. He's in he's in Amish country in PA, so he just.
Oh, is he Amish?
He is not Amish, but he works with them a lot.
Look at this. I mean, this is the kind of shit like that. This is so awesome. I mean, that's fucking Scott.
Someone actually tagged me in that, I think, and said Scott or something like that.
Yeah, you put up a picture on of your brother's. You have a good body too. You should use your own body. You don't have to put a picture of him on your Instagram and pretend like it's you. It's crazy. God, I just when I look through your Instagram, I just think how stoked your parents are. You guys probably brought them so much fucking happiness. It's nuts. It is nuts.
Spencer, you've done a lot of competitions now. As it gets close to a competition like Wodapalooza, and they start announcing some of the workouts, what's your process with that? Do you always like to test them out? Do you like to just do little touches with them, different approaches for different workouts?
Nah, if I get a chance, like if there's an opportunity to test it and see what it feels like, yeah, I'm all about it. But I'm all about keeping everybody on like an equal playing field. So it's like I kind of enjoy whenever they release them like almost too close where it's like you can't really redo them or practice them. Or I like them like really far out in advance of like, okay, everybody has like enough time to be able to do them. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, if you get a chance to do them, why not?
And so, how do you feel about the timing of Wodapalooza starting to release the workouts a couple of days ago? Is it too close to test them? Can you still do a couple of them if you want to?
So this is like the funny thing. It's like, this is like the time where it's like everyone's starting their deload and it's like, who's going to extend it out like a couple days of like testing, like where they can, like how will it affect them going into the competition. And yeah, I mean, they've only released 3 and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that come out between now and next, I think it starts Thursday. So it's like, you're not really going to be able to test them all, but like you can maybe pick a couple.
Yeah. Or you might look at one and say, ooh, you know what? It might be really important to know this. Like what's the stimulus going to be after 10 minutes of work or whatever. Yeah. Of the 3 that they've announced so far, is there one in particular excited for?
I like them all, actually. They just look fun. Like I don't want to say that they don't look like they're probably all gonna like hurt to their own extent, but like they'll be fun.
I see that the first one they announced, the weightlifting one, and that's one that jumps out to me as like execution can matter big time on that workout.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just being smooth as fast.
It's called, by the way, I asked them, it's called the MIA bar complex, not the Miami or the MIA or anything like that. So you can interpret it any way you want. But I thought it was kind of funny, MIA.
Josh Hitty says, thinking of finally getting into CrossFit after 15 years in fitness. These podcasts show how killer the community seems to be. Cheers. No, you're too old. Don't join. What? I'm just joking. He said he's been in the fitness industry he's been working out for 15 years. I bet you he's been working out longer than that. And thank you. It's fun. Do you like the community, Spencer?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What do you like about it?
There's so much. It's just rallying behind each other. And it's like, I don't know, it's just different than any other sport, I feel like.
It's cool, like even just being at the airport, right? And you see someone with a Rogue shirt on or a pair of Nanos or Metcons, and you're like, okay, I know that. Like,
yeah. When we went to the games, it was like who could find the most Nanos in the airport. It was when it was in California.
Yeah, that's cool.
That last one you just had up there, have you ever used or seen a flip sled before?
I've never, not one of those. Scott has a pig. I've been on that, but not a flip sled.
How hard is it to get a pig?
I think he got it used from the games the one year. I don't even think they sell them anymore.
Yeah. What I was thinking.
He drove it home, like he bought it and put it in the back of a pickup truck or something?
No, he got it shipped.
No shit. Hey, do you know what that means?
When he retires, I can have it.
No, well, yes. That means he's friends with Bill and Katie. If you have a pig, that means Bill and Katie like you.
He got that. That was back from California, actually. That wasn't this year. That was
2015.
Yeah, he's had that for a while.
I mean but that's like I said, that's an implement that's hard to find. It's something that can be a game changer on competition day if you haven't had a lot of experience with it. So
it's definitely not a tire.
What do you think about the fact that last season they had the torque tank, this kind of new implement that they're bringing in. Now they're having a major off-season competition using something like a flip sled, which is just a little different iteration of something we've seen before. Do you like having these new equipments, new pieces of apparatus in this space, or do you wish it was just kind of tried and true stuff?
No, I think it's a true test of fitness, and I think it's so cool if you can put something in there that nobody's had their hands on, because it's no longer like, oh, like he knows how to do this or he knows how to do that, or like I can't get my hands on that. But like when you put something in there, like the year at the games when they had it was like the snail. It was just like nobody's ever touched it before, so it was like, okay, like let's just see who can adapt. And to me, like that's CrossFit of just being able to adapt to different things.
I just Googled twerk tank. What did you call
Torque tank?
Torque tank. Yeah, twerk tank's a better Google. You want to see some cool videos. Twerk tank.
Oh man.
What a great juxtaposition of words.
But I think that the snail's a good example. Like to me, I would say the snail as an implement is something that probably no one who's competing at the games that year has used before, or almost definitely hasn't used before. Yeah, but when you introduce something like a paddleboard, now you have a huge spectrum where there's some people that actually might have grown up paddleboarding.
Yeah, it was like it was like those knee boards that they use. Like it was kind of like some people were like on like a surfboard, and like I think it's an Australian sport, but like the people that could get like comfortable on their knees just absolutely destroyed everybody.
Have you been on a paddleboard like that? Figured it out?
Yeah, I actually. Scott actually had one, believe it or not.
A pattern is emerging. Everyone knows that Rich has every piece of equipment. Scott doesn't advertise it as much.
No. That's when I opened up his garage on New Year's. I was like, look at this. You still have that.
Have you ever trained with Rich before?
Yeah, we went down and we trained with him last year sometime. I think it was in the fall. I can't even remember. But I trained last year down there with them and Haley, and it was really cool.
Do you have any like perception of Rich as that guy that always beats Scott at regionals, that Scott was always chasing, and so you kind of like hate him a little bit or want to see him lose it all?
No, I mean, again, like it goes back to like how I felt like Dave changed my life, but like Rich did as well. It was just I grew up watching him compete, and I remember at the 2012 regionals, like he took the time out of his like competition to just come over and just say hi, and like that was something like I really admired, and like that was just something that really stuck with me.
That is cool, and my guess is that he did that because he respected Scott a lot, and so he's going to respect his family and say hi to them. And I think that it still exists now, but especially back then, like those guys, it was a lot of the same guys year after year, and the respect was pretty high amongst each other.
Yeah, it's a lot of like isolation now, but like back then it was just like it was just old school CrossFit where it was just like, I mean, it just reminds me of like how they had like it was like the backyard barbecue where it was just like people hanging out and doing fitness.
There's a quality to both of them that they have too, like their character. Scott and Rich are good dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. To genericize it. Are you a Mayhem athlete?
Me? I just work with Facundo. So I'm not technically a Mayhem athlete, but like we've been working together before he was down there. So we just didn't want to change our relationship. And that was just something that we kind of stuck with.
And I'm assuming that it's just a technicality to say whether you're a Mayhem athlete or not. It's like the difference between a Gucci bag that the label fell off or the label's on there. It's like $800 difference, but the same fucking bag. Yes? No? Maybe so?
I don't know. I mean, we've been doing his stuff for quite some time, and
who's we?
Saxon and I, because we just do the same stuff, and it's just I don't know. It's just we didn't want to change our like the dynamic of our relationship, and we're just like really happy with where we are right now.
But okay, I'm speaking like from a branding perspective. Like you're not okay. Fuck it. How did you meet Facundo?
It was actually so Scott actually knew him, and then he ended up linking us up on a call, and he was going to help us with our endurance, and then we ended up getting like some programming from him, and we really liked it, and it just stuck. It was a really good relationship for us.
Did Scott ever go on the team with Rich, or did that happen?
That was the year that they canceled the teams.
Oh, okay.
But they qualified. Okay. I think it was they qualified before Wodapalooza, I think.
So there is a relationship.
See who's in the comments, Evan?
What? No. Who's? How handsome is the? Extremely. The more clothes he takes off, the better looking he is. So there is some relationship there. So Scott does have a relationship with Rich. Like they got each other's numbers and shit.
Yeah.
Like he could text Rich and be like, "Hey, dude, those glasses aren't working," or "Hey, dude, great snatch today," or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so Facundo does have a program through Mayhem.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're grandfathered in before then. You're pre Mayhem.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're getting shitty old programming then.
I don't know. If it is, it's still really good.
Who eats the most pancakes at Cracker Barrel?
Oh, me for sure.
Serious?
Definitely.
That's like their go-to. Anytime Facundo's in Cookville, you can guarantee that you're going to see a Cracker Barrel post.
Yeah, we were down there with him. I think he ate there, like 8 times. They ended up sending him a package. They couldn't ship it overseas, so he sent it to Saxon, but like Cracker Barrel like sent a package out.
How is that okay to have a restaurant called Cracker? I've never been to a Cracker Barrel.
The woke just haven't tracked them down yet. They have bigger fish to fry.
Wait, scroll down. Oh, you guys got to stop eating there. The outcome doesn't look good. Spencer, when's the last time you threw up in a workout?
It was the open workout. It was thrusters and chest to bars. It was like 33, 27, 21, 59, I think it was.
Disgusting workout.
But like I told Saxon, I'm like, I'm going to hit this unbroken. And then I tried, and I was just like, I was hanging outside the back door. I threw up for probably an hour and a half. It was so bad.
Oh shit.
Oh, I lost so much weight throwing up.
And do you tell him that to hold yourself accountable?
What do you mean?
Like before the workout, you're like, "Hey, I'm going to hit this unbroken." Do you say that out loud to your brother so that you know when you want to put the bar down, you can't because you already said it?
I wrote it on the floor.
Oh shit. Wow. You hate yourself. Wow.
Did Fraser do it unbroken in the announcement?
No,
he broke it up. And
I love those two movements, and I'm like, I think I could do it unbroken. So I'm like, I could take 2 shots at it. So let's give the hard. Let's go the hard route first.
That's last year. That's 2020.
No, that was like 3 years ago, I think.
I think it was 2000. I can't remember which open workout it was. 2018 last workout, maybe. Oh no, it's probably 2019 because those are the workouts where people were like Loud and Live hosted that workout on like a rooftop in Miami. So I think it was 19.5 or
yeah, that's the one.
What? That's crazy. I've never heard of anyone throwing up for that long from a workout.
I would right when I thought I was done, I wasn't.
And is it one of those feelings like the only thing I can relate it to really is like maybe Fran I've done before or something fucked up I did on the assault bike, but is it like you don't even feel like yourself? Like, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
I thought I was gonna like drown myself. Like I was like breathing so hard but throwing up, and I'm like, I can't breathe.
What was your whoopee saying? Was your whoopee freaking out?
I didn't even have one on.
Oh, do you
I wish I did. No, not right now.
Oh, they don't pay you, but if they paid you, you'd whoopee the fuck up and back, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whoopee, look at.
I wear it a little bit. I wear it for like heart rate stuff, occasionally, but yeah, that's usually all I wear it for.
And what do you mean heart rate stuff? Is it for just motivation, inspiration, or you're actually like putting together a program like, okay, I should stay at 180 for 4 minutes?
Yeah, when I would do like zone 2 training and stuff, I would like wear it a lot for that.
Yeah,
it was actually like it was really cool that when they did it at the games last year and they had Rich do it was like his thrusters, and it was like his heart rate was like 140
going down as he's doing thrusters.
Yeah,
it is as much as I hate to admit it, it is a guilty pleasure when they put those up there and you see people holding such high heart rates for so long. It's like, it's nuts.
It's such a cool piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's crazy. And for the fans, of the more metrics and more perspective you can get, the better. Even if it's pointless or meaningless, it's like that that hill that they had at Rogue. Like the more camera angles they could show of it, the better, because it just keeps letting you add. Because did you watch Rogue?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at first it was like, what the fuck is that thing, right? And then as the days went on, you're like, wow, that thing's pretty badass.
Yeah, that thing was so cool.
Do you have a T-shirt?
What do you mean?
Like Scott has a T-shirt, or Dan Bailey has a T-shirt, or Rich has a T-shirt. Like, have Bill and Katie called you and you got a T-shirt?
I do not have a T-shirt.
Does Saxon have one?
No.
But Scott has one.
Through Rogue?
Doesn't he?
I don't think he has one through Rogue.
Oh, they hate him. My bad. I thought they liked him. Does he have can you look, Souza, see if Scott has a T-shirt?
If he does, then he didn't send me one.
How the hell does someone like Chris Spieler have a T-shirt and Saxon doesn't? And Scott doesn't have a T-shirt.
Spencer, what are your expectations, hopes, or what are you looking to do at Wodapalooza this year?
I mean, win. I mean, I think that's anybody that's going down there. They want to win and have fun while doing it, and make memories. I mean, who knows? This might be my last opportunity to be able to compete with. I mean, obviously not with Saxon, but with all three of us together. So, just like embracing every moment down there it's just going to be just memories to not forget.
Is there any element of, like you wanting to see, like outside of trying to win, of just like checking in where you're at relative to some of these guys heading into the season this year?
Yeah. I definitely want to see where I am, where I'm at. But I mean, I get to do that kind of on the daily with Saxon, and just with where he took it to games last year. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but I think it's going to be more of seeing where I'm at, like from an execution standpoint. And obviously, I talked about earlier in the show was like that was kind of like what kept me from qualifying at West Coast. So that's the biggest thing for me.
And will there be, like, doing a competition like this? How will it, will you have to take a little bit of time off, reflect, or whatever? Will you just kind of be able to get right back into training, prepping for the Open?
My plan's to kind of get back into training after, depending on how I'm feeling. But I like to constantly stay moving, and it's hard for me to sit still. Where I know Saxon likes to take some time off and relax, but I don't know. I'm just always moving and doing something.
Yeah, I don't think there's a one size fits all for that. Rich is similar, I think, where after a competition, he's not going to spend a week doing nothing. He's going to just start moving again, get the blood flow.
Yeah, especially because the Open's going to be, I think it's a month right after that. So
go back to Born Primitive. Sorry, Spencer. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. A month after that, you were saying?
Oh, I was just saying that it's a quick turnaround from Wodapalooza to the Open.
Do you wear these shorts, Spencer?
Do I?
Yeah.
He actually sent me a package of those.
I have 2 pair of them.
You like them?
I do like them. And I'm kind of I'm like really picky about what I wear.
They remind me of the Lulu shorts a little bit.
Yeah, the Lulus are good too. Damn, did I say that out loud?
I didn't know you wore shorts, Sevan.
I do. I wear shorts a lot.
I thought you were a pants guy.
No. I just wear pants on the podcast.
Oh,
like the second I leave, I get naked.
Spencer, at this point for you, with like where your fitness at and confidence in terms of how far you can make it through the season, is the Open something you kind of train through, or do you still try to kind of build up each week to have a really good workout on Friday or Saturday whenever you do it?
I definitely build up to have a good workout. And I mean, with the way the format was last year, it gave you a chance to kind of be a little bit more relaxed. So if that's going to be the same format, I mean, it'll be a little bit more relaxed, but like still you want to put up the best performance you can. And usually I do them on Fridays right after a rest day. So it doesn't interfere too much with training. But again, at the end of the days, it's qualifying for the games and building on any weaknesses.
Yep.
And my kid, it looks like it's raining here. My kid's skateboarding. Sorry, it may have just gotten canceled. That's the cool thing about your sport. You can still do it in the rain. My kids can stop being pussies. The thing is, did you ride a skateboard, Spencer?
A little bit.
Yeah, the bearings get wet and you're toast. Are there any sports you do that like you don't do any? Oh, and you never played football.
When I was younger, I did. After our accident, I couldn't take any more hits to the head.
Oh, right. You know, I had a pretty fucked up accident.
Really? What happened?
Yeah, when I was 7 years old, I crashed on my bike, and they didn't think I would ever be the same. Maybe I'm not the same, but basically, I crashed on my bike. My head hit the curb. I had to be taken to the hospital. They had to cut a giant horseshoe in the side of my head, release the pressure off my brain. They kept me unconscious for like 2 or 3 days, because that's what they do when you have serious brain trauma, right? They're trying to let your body heal and keep you unconscious. And then I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then basically, you know, after that, it was like, hey, this kid like is fragile.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, no sports, no nothing.
How long was recovery on something like that?
You know, probably similar as yours. You go to the doctor every week for a month, then every month for 6 months, then every 2 months for a year, and then every year for 5 years, and then you know you're 15, and they're like, but the
real answer is 41 years and counting.
Yes. But they thought I could be tarded or that I might not come back.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. And I think it rocked. I don't think my mom liked that experience.
No, I can't imagine being a parent.
But they should have spoiled me for that and made me like, they should have turned me into a princess. Like, did your parents spoil you after that and you got soft?
No, it was just just keeping us safe.
Yeah. My parents didn't spoil me. How are you how will you be at the venue at Wodapalooza in regards to media, outside media? I'm asking for a friend.
What do you mean?
Like, so you're there. Can we bug you? Can we contact you? I mean, you don't have to answer, but are you okay if we're like I have your phone number now. Can I text you and be like, hey, will you jump on and to give us an interview at the event?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And don't feel obligated if it's like you're like, no, fuck that. These guys want to ask me about tripping over the bar. I'm not ready to talk about
Did
that
you see
shit.
that last year?
No. Tell me.
Oh my goodness.
Get it, Susan. Get it. Where is it? Tell us where. Let's get it.
It's on Flow Elite.
Okay. I don't know.
I ate
probably
it
won't
so
find it.
bad. I had a hole in my shin.
What happened? Was that at Wodapalooza?
Oh, it was at Wodapalooza. It was the 2-part. It was like 12 lives or 9 lives or something like that. But it was like, I was going and I had like a game plan, and then I was in first place, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can win this one. So like I finished it and I jumped over the bar and I tripped over it, and then I hit the buzzer, and then I was like, all right, I think I'm good. And then like it went into like a second part, and then after the event, like my wrist hurt, like my shin was bleeding, like you could literally like see the bone in my shin, and I just like super glued it shut. But
did you hear the crowd go ooh?
Ooh, it was like, yeah. I was like, that's so embarrassing. Like, at least I won the event.
Who was the girl at Del Mar one year? Some girl. Was it Maddie? Is there a girl?
It was Maddie not Rogers. Maddie Myers.
Maddie Myers.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh, that was crazy. Or how about the year at the games? Do you remember Ben Smith just fucking like tripping over a cord or something? Yeah.
I didn't know it was a cord. I thought.
I don't know. I'm making it up. It looked like it. It looked like there was a ghost out there that tripped him. And he just fucking. Oh my goodness. All right, brother. Well, do you have anything else from Mr. Spencer, Brian?
No, I'm super pumped to see him at Wodapalooza. I think it was 6th there last time he competed. You know, he's 7th and really just one workout execution away from making the games this past year. He's definitely, we've been talking, Spencer, a little bit about the fact that there's, you know, maybe like 10 guys in a similar situation to who are competing at Wodapalooza that are like just breathing down the necks of making it to the games. And I'm looking to see where you're at too. I'm pumped to see you out there.
I appreciate it.
There is no pressure, but there's a ton of pressure on you. Your brother has run out ahead by making it to the games, and I do think that there will be a lot of eyes on you and a fucking ton of expectation. And it will be, I'm not helping, I know, and it will be interesting to see how you react to that pressure, because the two of you will now be compared. Well, I'm sure you have been compared your entire life, and it's easier, I bet, for you guys when you're side by side. But now he's put a gap between you, and there will be eyes on you. Like, what the fuck is Spencer doing? Is he going to get him or not? Is this where they separate themselves forever, or is Spencer going to show up and put a whooping on? So, So
pressure.
I hope you take that. Well, I mean, it's a chance for you, right? I hope you take that attention and that pressure and you make the most of it. Yeah. Heidi says no pressure, but we'll be comparing both of you. Yeah. Right. All right, man. Thank you so much for your hour and 40 minutes. It was really cool of you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.